You've done the diets, you tried the workouts, you started over more times than you can count. But if you're a woman over 40 and none of it's working like it used to, sis, it's not you. Today, I'm going to help you take first real step forward with a reset plan that fits your hormones, your habits, and your real life. Hey sis, I'm Loretta, the research coach for women 40 plus. I'm certified in health, life, and menopause coaching, and I help women like you reset your hormones, lose weight naturally, and finally feel strong and in control again. If the scale won't budge, your cravings are wild, and belly fat came out of nowhere, you're in the right, sis. You're in the right place. So, sis, go ahead and tap like, hit subscribe, turn on notifications because we're just getting started. And remember, this is for educational purposes only. So, always check with your healthcare provider before making changes to your routine. All right, let's get started. So, yesterday I promised to help you create a reset plan, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But I want you to know something very important. This isn't about building some type of rigid routine, because if you've been around long enough, you know that's not what I'm about. But we're not going to copy somebody else's rigid routine either. So, this is about creating a reset plan that fits your life. And if you've been following along, you've already learned a lot because I've been teaching in these last sessions. But even if it's your first time, no worries. I'm going to walk you through 3 steps that will help you take action right now. And you always can go back and explore the full playlist. The playlist is called Wellness Reset for Women 40 Plus, Grief, Hormones, and Healing, and includes over a dozen videos that walk through everything from stress and cravings to grief and belly fat, metabolism. It's a lot in there. So you just hit it and just let the playlist play. So now I'm going to get into the steps. Now we're talking 3 steps. And now step one, I want you to reflect on what's been true for you. So the very first step is like, yeah, we're going to talk about reflection because really, sis, before you can move forward, you got to stop and check in with what's really going on, right? And in this series, we talked about a lot. So we talked about how chronic stress and unresolved grief can send cortisol through the roof. And that when that happens, that's what causes you to store belly fat and drain your energy. We talked about sleep. We talk about when I talk, if you've been with me a while, you know I talk about sleep a lot because sleep struggles, like waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning, that is often tied to blood sugar and hormonal shifts, right? And I also, and this was yesterday, I talked about how diets, if you're talking about just the standard diet and a lot of these fad diets, they just don't work in midlife and like in our ages right now as women over 40 because they ignore the hormonal and emotional stuff that we're carrying. So listen, think about what I'm saying. If you watch the other videos, kind of get that in your mind. Just think about it, reflect on it, and then reflect on your own self, your own situation, what's going on in your life, and think about what hits home for you. What is it that you say, yeah, that's me, that I fit that category? Whatever that is, that insight is your signal, and that's where your reset is going to begin. We're talking, it's not something I'm trying to press you in or anything like that. We're just walking on truth. What is your truth? And that's what's important because you can't have a plan, just one that's just everyone's going to do it. It needs to be customized for you based on your situation. So like I said, think about that. What is it that's going on in your own situation, in your own life? And this is where we're going to start. We're going to start our reset with that thing, that one thing. And that's when I get to number 2. I need to choose one small action and own it, sis. So I'm not talking about, because we can look at everything. We can say, you know what, we don't do this, we don't get enough sleep, or we not setting ourselves up to get enough sleep, whatever the case is, we're not moving our bodies, we're not all the things. And we can come up with a whole list. But we're not going to tackle that whole list. What we need to do is say, like I said, step 2 is choose one small action and own it, right? So now that you got the insight, we are talking now. Step 2 is action. Not everything, but just one thing. Now I taught a lot in the previous videos. So I talked about how you can just kind of reduce your stress by walking. We talked about how even walking after meals, how that has great benefit for us. I talked about protein first meals. So we talked about how we have our protein, fiber, and healthy fats, right? And we talked about how that makes sense for us in terms of our blood sugar. I talked about movement. Now, I didn't talk about like staying in the gym. We don't do that. I'm not talking about staying in the gym for hours at a time. We're busy. A lot of us can't even figure out, we can't even possibly see how we can be in the gym for hours. So that's not what we're talking about. But I talked about how you can move your body, how you can increase your step count. And I gave you some suggestions regarding that in terms of saying, hey, you know what? Maybe if you're on the phone for a long phone call, you're walking around your house saying, hey, let's get outside in the morning, maybe 10 minutes, and we're going to walk, and that's how we're going to move. Or we're doing strength exercises, right? So we're using our own weight bearing exercises. So we might say, you know what, while the coffee is brewing, I'm going to see how many squats that I could safely do in that time period. So I didn't talk about something that's like high pressure, right? High intensity. I said, how can we get our bodies moving and fit it into our current lifestyle, right? So whatever that is that kind of resonates with you, and you know what, I need to take that first step, that's what we're going to start. So our reset plan is going to start with one small action that you can commit to for the next 7 days. All right. So it might be, okay, I'm going to walk after dinner. That's what I'm going to do, right? That may be your one thing that you're going to commit to for 7 days. Or you say, you know what, I can actually commit to walk after every meal. And that's what you're going to commit to. You know your schedule, you know where you are, and you also know what you yourself need to do. So then maybe it's a matter of saying, okay, you know what? I'm not really doing the protein, so I'm going to start with making sure my day starts with 20 grams of protein. I'm going to have breakfast. I'm going to concentrate on that. I'm going to be intentional because as I talk to you during the week, I explain to you how when you have a protein first approach, and I talked about balanced meal with protein, healthy fats, and fiber, how that keeps you full longer. And so that's really important because that helps us with those cravings later in the day. Then maybe your thing is going to be, I need to stretch in the morning. So instead of getting right on the phone and start scrolling, you say, you know what? I need to make sure that I am stretching every morning. And whatever that is for you, that is where you're going to start. And that's what you're going to put on your reset plan. Remember, I said that this thing has to be customized to what works best for you and your situation. This is your reset anchor. Think of it that way. The small, consistent action that tells your brain and your body, we're doing something different now. We're showing up. This is what I walk, especially my one-on-one clients. We walk through this, and also it's available for the inner circle community. That's like that inner circle is, we start off with the free community, but you can upgrade to the inner circle, and that reset plan is in there as well. But the key of it here is I'm teaching you how to get started, and then you're going to build upon that thing. So once you master that, then we're going to go to the next thing, and we're going to master that. And so what you'll see is that as you go through it, you're going to build and build and build and start creating healthy habits, because that's the goal here. We want to start creating those healthy habits. Now, step 3. What I need you to do, sis, is I need you to shift your language. Yeah, I need you to start giving yourself credit. Sometimes it's so easy for us to say, and put our own selves down. No, we don't need to be doing that. I need you to check your language, right? This is something that sometimes we overlook, but it's everything. So if your self talk is sounding like this, I always fall off, or I always fail, or I can never do this, or nothing works for me, or I'm just not motivated. If that's how you come in, that's how it's going to be. All right. So, what I need you to do is stop saying that if that is something that you're doing, or even if it's in your mind and you're thinking it, and let's stop. Because what you're doing is reinforcing the pattern you're trying to break. So, let's not do that. Let's shift. Okay. So, like, repeat with me, this reset is for me. This reset is going to work for me. I'm rebuilding my routine one step at a time. I'm choosing strength and clarity over chaos and guilt. So sis, it starts with us. What are we saying? What are we thinking? And once we get in our head, yeah, we can do this. We can do this. And like I said, that's why we focus on one. Just one. Take just one. Your one might be that you need to start drinking some more water, whatever that one is. And if that's it, then you need to do like I do and always have your water close. Whatever that one thing is, that's what you're going to focus on. And then you're also going to shift your mindset to say, yep, I can do it. And yep, I will do it. Right? That's important. Sis, you're not behind. We're just entering a new season. We're in a new season as women over 40. And your words can help you walk through it with power and peace. Peace, I protect my peace. So that is what we're talking about here. And whether you watch all 6 videos in this reset series or you're just tuning in now, I want you to know this part is part of something bigger. Okay. So now, like I said, the entire wellness reset for women 40 plus, grief, hormones, and healing, that playlist, and it has 13 videos in it. This one, I'm gonna put this one in, so this will be the 14th video, and it guides you through every layer of the reset you've been craving. Listen, it talks about it, explains it, and this part, this last piece, is just how to take action, how to implement, and really move forward in this thing. So, if today's teachings connected with you, you hear what I'm saying. I invite you to come back and, like I said, re-watch the previous videos, take notes, do what you need to do so that you can start applying what specifically speaks to you. And if you haven't already, I need you to like this video. I need you to subscribe and turn on your notifications because I'm just getting started. I come in live and I frequently around this lunchtime period, and I just have so much I want to share. And so I'm going to be doing that. But I want to tell you something else. In this month, I'm starting in this next phase. I'm starting something. I'm going to be doing a live I've never did this live before. It's going to be a masterclass focused on the 3M reset strategy. I'm excited about it. It's going to be again, it's total reset. So it's what I use, like I said, with my one-on-one clients, is the exact framework. I'll be walking you through it step by step in a free live masterclass. Now that's coming soon. I'm not, teaching the whole class because it's not, something I can fit in this short period of time. This space was just to help you get clear and feel steady and get started. But if you want the first access to this masterclass, get into the community. That's in the community I speak of. You go there, it's renewhernow.com. RenewHerNow.com. Actually, you can go in the description, the link is there as well. And that's where you get early access to this free masterclass. I'm in there, so you can post questions in there in the general community. And again, the community is free. There's a lot of resources in there, and you get the support you need, in addition to these videos. And, I'll be sharing some bonuses. Yeah, yeah. So, and all the details and resources, they're exclusively in the community before the public ever sees it. So I don't want you to miss out, because of course, with all my live master classes, there are limited seats. This right here, I've been excited. I thank you. Y'all keep coming. Y'all keep coming to these lives. I appreciate it. But this wraps up the 6-day reset series. I am genuinely proud of y'all because y'all keep showing up. And even if you're watching the replay, I'm still proud of you because you're sitting here, you're taking the time, you're getting the information, and this is where you start. This is how you start. This is not about perfection. What we're doing here is building healthy habits. It was all about, like I said, noticing and recognizing what's going on with your body, what your body is telling you, and then taking the right action with grace and intention. So I'll be kicking off a new series right here. So stay tuned. Later this week, I'm going to be dropping the official invite to the free masterclass. Like I said, my community is going to get the first invite, and then as long as it's not full, I'll be releasing it to the public. But like I said, get in there. I'm going to be building out the full 3M reset plan in that free masterclass. And one more time, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, because I come on around the same time, this lunchtime, so you can get some information. And then my whole thing in what I'm doing this is not just so you just have information, but so that you have information that you can now, next step is action, right? Go ahead and go to renewhernow.com to get to join the reset community, get the first initial invites to the masterclass so you don't want to miss out. And remember, we're not starting over. We're just doing things differently because we're in a new season. And you know what? Keep tuning in because we're doing this together. Remember, I'm in the same shoes that you are in, 56 years old, and but I'm just enjoying life and thriving. So you keep showing up for you, and until the next time.